Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of the Cinema Asylum podcast. I am Paul Allen. I am known as the horror expert. To my left is.
Hello, I am John Thompson. I am the action and animation expert.
I am Dylan, the first of two superhero and sci-fi experts.
And I'm Matthew, the evil half of the superhero and sci-fi experts.
Oh, I would have thought I was that one, but okay. I can roll with
And
that.
Paul, would you like to tell us why this is a very special episode?
Absolutely. We have a calling guest. We have Rose Sanchez calling in. Rose, how are you doing tonight?
I'm great. How are you guys doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Yeah, we're doing fantastic. Thank you for joining us on the podcast, and I'm probably a lot more excited that we get to talk to you than anybody else here because I recognize the name already.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on the show. I'm very honored. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us.
We are very excited to talk with you and kind of dig into a little bit of what you do. So, I have your IMDb here. It says actress, writer, and director. So, let's kind of break those down a little bit. I always like to ask anybody in acting, what got you involved in acting? Like, how did your journey start?
Sure. Yeah. So everything started in sixth grade when I took a theater class. I was okay in my other classes. I was okay. I wasn't the best student, but I was okay. Like I could pass all my grades. Now I took that theater class, and it just wow. I was like, I think this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. If it's not acting, it don't matter. It has to be something around this industry because it gives me so much passion, and it just stayed with me. I started all that in Puerto Rico, or just to make it more sexy, Puerto Rico. But yeah, I come from there. I moved out at 22. I did hear a lot of people telling me, "Hey, if you really want to make a living out of this, you got to get out of this island." There is like a little mafia here. They give opportunities to people they favored or the people that are related, which is not really that different. Once you move out of Puerto Rico, it's the same mafia everywhere. But at the same time, it was a bigger place for me to find more connections than Puerto Rico. So yeah, I started there, moved out, went to Orlando, went to New York, went to Jacksonville, and now I'm in Michigan. Now, when I went to Jacksonville, Florida, I started to do a lot of short films. I've already had done a couple of shows in Puerto Rico and in the places I've been. But when I went to Jacksonville, I found so much talent, and I just wanted to collaborate with all of them and make relations. When I saw how the industry was moving, I said, I feel like this industry needs a little more improvement. There's a lot of competition, but it shouldn't be competition. It should be about art. Yeah, obviously, because the money is in play, that's why there's a lot of competition. But if we all work together in this, I'm pretty sure we can all make a living out of what we love to do. So I saw a lot of rivalry when it comes to the competitions and stuff. And I was like, I want to create a community in which everyone is welcome, regardless of how good or bad their quality of product is, as long as the story inspires and it's something that people should watch. So I created Locally, which was specifically for Florida locals, and I made the first two festivals with Locally. Um, Locally served its purpose perfectly, and I evolved from that. Why? Because most of the support came from out of state, and I was like, well, it's only fair for me to evolve the company into something more ambiguous and more welcoming everybody from all backgrounds and all shapes and forms. Instead of just keeping it local so that everybody can have an equal opportunity. And I evolved this past March, I believe. March, I officially registered Press Play Cinema at pressplayhere.com, which is a streaming service, but at the same time, it's a educational website. people ask me all the time, what is this website about? Because once you come in, there is a lot of things related to film. But when I say it's a streaming website, everybody thinks it's just films. Yes, there is films, short films, microfilms. There's music videos because filmmakers don't only make movies; they also do music videos. And at the same time, there is a lot of other people that make content, that create content that is very educational. I have a page right there in the website that says cultural and education, in which we can see filmmaking from stories about history or about legends and stuff like that. There's also an area for news in which I don't only make interviews to the industry professionals, but I also I have a team that will publish articles of filmmaking relating when it comes to lenses, when it comes to angles, when it comes to screenwriting and stuff like that. So it's educational. It's mostly to empower the artistic community that actually wants to do this for a living because they love the craft and not because solely they want to make money off of it. So yeah. Uh, Press Play Cinema, it's more of a platform for people that are willing to collaborate with each other. For example, let's say you make a film. So I want you to make money out of that film. You know, we upload it in YouTube, and sometimes it gets many views, sometimes it don't. So what do? I tell people, hey, you give me your video, and you give me this small fee. From that small fee, I'm gonna take a percentage and use it in marketing only for your content, so that you can get at least a couple of views. A couple of views, you know what I'm trying to say, like a few, not just a couple, but you know what I'm saying. That is one of the services we give, and also we try to make interviews that not just highlight their career and their project, but also a platform for them to stay with us. Press Play Cinema is not you just give me your video and I help you. No, once you are part of our community, you are part of the private group at Press Play Cinema, and you can collaborate with other artists in the same private group. So let's say, because the Press Play private group has artists from all around the world. So let's say, hey, who's in Miami right now? I'm in Miami. Okay, what should we do? I have this plan. Oh, I have free this time. Okay, let's go at that time. You know, it's a very collaborative profession, and I love it. Every time I'm on set, I meet new people. It's something that if you are really passionate about, it's not difficult to click with people. So yeah, I just wanted to empower that feeling with Press Play Cinema and bring that as a tool for everyone to actually succeed at what they love. I started making my own films in Jacksonville, and I'm a director. I write, and I'm an actor. But recently, I became a mom again, and I said, okay, well, this is what I wanted, and everything's going exactly how I planned it. So now I'm just gonna focus in making my friend's career a little more easier by just collaborating and helping their careers succeed in what they love the most. So that's what we're doing here. When you guys see the films in the website, those are the individual links from the artist. So if you watch a film in my website, those views are collected in the artist's channel. So I don't get any profit out of that. I only get the profit when you guys pay for the showcase, and I take, like, let's say for a micro short. Let's say a micro short is $5. You pay $5, and I will post your micro short. From those $5, I take $3 and I put them in the pool of marketing, because it's a system that we have through with other donations. So we take a budget and we put it in the marketing. And those $2 are mostly for marketing, but physical, like flyers, stickers, and stuff like that. So everything that we make, it's reinvested in the company so that we can empower these artists. And that's pretty much it. It's actually a group, a collective of creative minds. And I do believe it could be the end of all the problems with the strikes and stuff like that, because it's already governed by all these companies that we know are trying to play us out of our money. So if the power is in us, the people, I feel like if us, the people, create that type of community in which we can empower each other and keep being creative and stay crystal clear about where the funds are going. If you go to our GoFundMe page, you can see in the dates that I will post everything in which the money is going and everything, so that people are a little more trustworthy of where their money is going. So, yep, I'm here to change the game. Basically, that's how I would describe that.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, and you know the beauty of people like you is no matter what backgrounds that you're part of, whether you're from the outside United States or you're from the United States, and you still get to do movies. That's a great thing because there's a lot of people that don't get a chance to do like big opportunities like act or direct or even write or produced. And it's just it's just awesome that you actually got a chance to do that. That's really great.
Yeah, no, one of the things that I love the most about this collaborative work is ideas that you get. Sometimes, for example, let me throw this out there. There's a pro boxer that came forth and he was like, "Can you be my manager?" And I was like, "That is not my forte. Do you make films?" And he was like, "Well, I'm looking in the future to make a film about my boxing." And it was like, "Well, that's when you call me." Right now, I don't think I have no idea. I don't even know who's fighting this Saturday. I can tell you that.
Plot
I do
twist,
know
it's
there's
me
fights on
fighting this Saturday.
though.
Oh gosh, that's great. Okay, so I got a two-part question for you, and it has to do with movies, of course.
Yeah, go ahead.
One, there are a lot of great directors out there. There's a Steven Spielberg, there are Christopher Nolans, there's even a Stanley Kubrick's, and there's even the Garrett Edwards, another fantastic director, and there's also is some great movies. So, two-part question is, who is your favorite director, and what is for you think the best movie of all time?
Wow, my favorite director. I mean, that changes over time, because there's so much creativity in this world.
Oh yeah.
I try to not be too eager to be a fan of the big people already. I try to focus on my friends because those are the ones that are making the content for the future. But if we're talking about, oh my gosh, I can tell you one right now. I can tell you the one that I recently said, wow, that's a masterpiece. I love it. And if I see him, I would like an autograph. And that I rarely say that. That was Michael B. Jordan with Creed 3.
Yes. I love
Wow,
that movie. It's great.
The cinematic angles. Do you guys remember that opening of the Mexican boxer coming out? And
Yeah.
that image?
Yes.
That was cinematic. And I just said that was a piece of art. And I was
It
like,
was.
whoa,
It was.
whoa. I said, it's been a long time since I've seen a movie like this. Like, and I was genuinely impressed. I was like, I'm not even a fan of the dude, but if you ever see him, that dude, I would like an autograph. I would say, great job on Creed 3. That was awesome. An awesome movie, filmmaking debut, directorial debut, because that's his first directorial debut, right?
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say too. Is like it's crazy that he did that good on his first attempt.
First.
My
That was
first
amazing.
short film that I directed was god awful.
Don't remind me.
So
Listen, it's different. Please do not undermine your job because he is already a millionaire. So he had the
That is
funds
true.
and all the
It is.
resources to make that happen. I'm pretty sure if you had the same resources, you could have made something just as amazing or better.
We did it, what, an $80 camera with 2 of us?
Yeah, we did it on an $80 camera with with just 2 people on the crew.
But guess what? Y'all still make it happen, right?
Oh, absolutely. And it's
That's
actually
the
doing
beauty
quite
of
well on
this
YouTube.
art. It's the fact that you go outside regardless of how your budget is or how many resources you have, you still make it happen. That is so beautiful. That is the beauty of making this art, and that's what makes me so passionate about it.
And you can see too, like through my career as a filmmaker, the progression from where we started and where we're at now, and it's only been a year. And I think that platforms like what you have created with Press Play Cinema, I think that that is only going to further strengthen filmmakers such as myself, you know, who are just starting out, who are hungry and eager to get into this. I think it's only going to further strengthen us, and I cannot commend you enough for that.
Oh no, yeah,
I checked
know
out the
it's a
website.
great product. I know it's a great product. I just don't want people to see it as a product because it's a community you're joining. Once you're part of the group, you know that you are backed by a lot of artists that are just as like-minded as you. And that's the beauty of it. That's really what I love the most. For example, I had 2 things. I had this friends of mine in Jacksonville that were in love with what I was doing, and then I had to move, and they were like, "Oh, Rose, dang it, you had to move just when it became really, really good." And I was like, "It's okay, it's not done." And I moved, but I had this friend who's a filmmaker in Jacksonville, and I was like, "Do you think if I send you a story, you could be able to record it and edit it if you can? If not, you can just send me the footage and I can do that." And he's like, "No, no, no, Rose, I got you." And that's the beauty. That's the beauty. He said, "I
Yes.
got you." He recorded it. I just paid the setting where they were supposed to record and everything, and they did that. It's still in post production, but it is a human trafficking awareness short film. With this awesome actors is Matthew Kruger, is Carrie Thompson, and Donald Maestre. Awesome actors. They're always giving their A game, and I can't thank them enough. Now, there was this other experience that I had. I had this script. It was called Quiet on Set, which is a book now in Amazon. Quiet on Set by Rose Sanchez. I made this script because which was funny because I finished it, and 3 months later, the Me Too movement started coming out, and I was like, "Oh, this is the perfect moment for me to release this book." But at the same time, I didn't want to catch the hype because I didn't want to make it about that. I wanted to make it about the issue.
That's a good
And
thing.
I gave this script to a couple people, and they were very eager to be part of the project. But when they read the script, they were like, "No, Rose, I'm sorry. It's a powerful script, but I cannot be associated with this character." And that kind of gave me a little. That was flattering. That was actually flattering. People would be like, "Oh, well, they didn't work with you. They didn't want to." No, well, the way they rejected it actually it gave me more power. They rejected it because it was too raw of a character for them to portray.
Right.
Yeah.
And that already says a lot about this story. And when I put it out there, I said, well, if I don't get it in motion pictures, it don't matter. It's still gonna be out there. So I made it a book, and it's available in Amazon. But I do look forward to in the future make it into the motion pictures.
Absolutely.
That's a story that definitely needs to be out there. I think that people.
I'm sorry,
need
I can hear you. It's far away.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me better now?
It's still kind of faded.
Is this better?
That's perfect.
Okay, good. I was just saying that this story is so important, and I think that it really needs to be out there more. There needs to be more awareness to this. It's a movement that has affected me for reasons I'm not going to say on this podcast, but it's such an important message, and that voice needs to be heard.
Yeah, I one of the reasons I made it, it's because of what you just said right now. There is a lot of people that don't feel comfortable putting their experiences out there, or they just think it's important to speak up, but at the same time they're afraid of the consequences that would come with speaking up, which is completely understandable. Because I've been in a situation in which I've been speaking with ladies that feel afraid. They said, "Oh, my career just started. I can't say this out loud. They're gonna blackmail me. I mean, blackmail, no, blacklist me." And that is sad. It's sad when you feel that you cannot continue forward because you're gonna get accused of something, or you're gonna lose your career, or you're gonna lose your reputation.
Yeah,
It's so sad, and it's also a power. It's a power struggle up there,
that's
and
true.
it's a power game. If I go of it to you, and I know that I have the money to persuade you into doing something I want, that already is something very evil. How to go to someone with the intention of deceiving them into doing what you want them to do, and then drop them and take everything they made for you. It's very sad. We see that right now in the I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Bobby and Drake previous scandal. I mean, it's not a scandal. It was more like news that break through. But Drake, Bobby is this TikToker that makes very awkward interviews. She makes awkward interviews. She makes awkward questions.
Mm.
The guests know it's awkward, so they continue to answer awkwardly, and it's just fun. But at some point, Drake was said that he wanted to be interviewed, and he took control of everything. He paid her trip, he paid the production so that they could record that interview and give it to him. So he basically made her accept to all of that, and she said, "Yeah." What she didn't know is that unconsciously she let him have all the rights to her production.
Mm.
And once she became viral, he took his interview and gave it to Sonic. I think it was Sonic, or I don't know, but it was a multimedia company, and basically reached out to Bobby to tell her that everything she made out of that video had to be turned over to them, and that is basically that's the dark psychology of the corporate America. That's
Mm.
what they do. They will. You have to be careful with who do you interview with, who you let interview you.
Oh
I mean, who
yes.
you let do your content and stuff like that. I mean, record your content and stuff like that. You gotta be careful with that because people are evil, and not in the best ways. So that's why I also felt like Press Play Cinema would be a community of honesty and actual creativity. Like, you can come to me, look for support, and know that I am not going to betray you, because if I betray you, I go down with you. The website does not work without the artists. Yes, my films are there too, but that was not made for me. It was made for everybody that I know they really are making this out of love and out of passion and out of hopes for the future, if that makes sense.
Makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Absolutely. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Because we do have to be careful of who they actually want to be interviewed and think, because things could be pretty troubling. But the good news is, for most actors, most of them take it pretty well. And I can definitely tell that our guest, she takes it pretty well. So she's at a good spot, Paul. I think she's at a really good spot.
Yeah, I mean, when you are in this industry, you already feel that there's gonna be. I think at another interview, she explained why she took it in the right way. She was like, "Well, they offered me an amount of money, even though they were gonna take 76% of my money.
Hmm.
I was still being left with an amount of a ridiculous amount of money I've never had in my life. So that's why I accepted." And I was like, "Okay, that makes sense." But at the same time, if you know your worth, girl, all you had to do was keep making content, and you was gonna blow up by yourself. You did not needed that man. Yeah, it was gonna take you a little bit of time, but you was still gonna make it, and you was gonna have 100% of all your earnings. And it's difficult when corporate America sees a person with talent and influence, they go. Why? Because we already heard that enough times. You can only have a certain amount of influence. They will reach out and they'll be like, okay, well, since you have this influence, I want you to work for me, and we're gonna take a little bit of your earnings, but hear me out, but you will go viral and you will be famous.
Hmm.
And people think that being viral and famous is what's gonna make them the money. Do you know how many? Well, we have seen it now with the strikes. You know how people have uploaded their checks. Like, hey, it may look luxurious where I live, but all these things that I paid, I don't pay it. My agent pays it. I'm just here leaving check to check. Basically, there's
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
a lot of different confessions like that, and it has opened our eyes to the reality that maybe making being in movies or making movies is not really gonna pay the bills as long as these people are up there taking most of our earnings. We won't. And that's why I feel that creating a new community of people that actually care and actually want to make a difference was the important thing to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. I definitely agree with that, everything she says, and I salute you for the hard work that you actually do. So that's very cool on your part. Um, yeah, we're all pretty much wondering, what's your next upcoming project that's coming soon?
Well, oof, I have like two or three, but I haven't get to them because the football season started, and I'm crazy over this football season right now.
Me
But
too. I'm the only football
but
fan
yeah,
here in this podcast, unfortunately.
Hey, don't say that. Don't say that. I'm a football fan too.
Oh, hey, okay, we got two. That's good. Anyway, I'm
there
sorry.
you go. There you go.
Anyway, didn't mean to interrupt
No,
you. I'm sorry.
but
Go ahead.
one of the one of the next projects that I'm trying to make, it involves a deaf person. A deaf person is my primary protagonist because I thought it was very important to include people with disabilities. I thought that was very important because yeah, we
That's a
make
great
movies with
idea.
people with disabilities, but we literally just hire normal actors to act like they're disabled. I don't think that's fair.
Oh.
No,
I don't think
absolutely
that's
not.
fair.
No.
But at the same time, I get it because they say, well, I don't want to cast a disabled person because he's disabled. I don't want the person to be self conscious of the fact that I'm targeting because he's disabled. So I get that part. I get that part. But at the same time, did you ask? Maybe they did want it to. You don't know.
Exactly.
Maybe they've been waiting for an opportunity to have their own spotlight. You never know. So let's go ahead and try it. And I reached out to a couple of my friends, and they said, "Hey, I got this friend of mine that's been trying to break into it, but he's deaf, so his opportunities are limited." And I was like, "Just uh, um, uh, make him call me, and we'll deal with that." So that's my next project. Has a deaf protagonist, and it's gonna be a little difficult. He does know how to read in paper, so I'm gonna have my paper and everything. And I do want him to teach me a little bit. I'm my little daughter here, and I teach her the basics of ASL. But that's pretty much it. I can have a long conversation. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna bring my pen, my pad and pen, so that we can communicate effectively. And he is down for it, and he is very very excited about it. So I'm actually really excited that I am able to bring that as an opportunity. It
Uh,
really fulfills me, even if I don't make sense out of it. It fulfills me that I can make somebody's life have a highlight on their day
that's
because
awesome.
I worked hard for that. That's very beautiful to me.
Yeah, they
Something
definitely are.
else that I'm trying to work on. Well, I started last week. Actually, I started studying again. I'm what is the name of what I am studying? How is that? I'm all in the study that I totally forgot the whole certificate title. Okay. Introduction to AI and AI engineering, because obviously that is the future. It seems like that's where we are inclining to. So in Puerto Rico, they say, "Hey, si no puedes con el enemigo, únetele." With that means, which means if you can with the enemy, join. So as soon as it became more into the AI introduction and stuff like that, I realized it's really easy, guys. AI cannot work without us, and we cannot do the things AI does without it. So without one or the other, it's useless. So we don't have to be scared. It's an awesome tool. Yes, it will get rid of a few jobs. That is very unfortunate. But it also brings that people the opportunity to grab something new and use AI as a tool to amplify what they're doing or what they want to do. Because AI is already everywhere. When you if you have an iPhone, when you turn on the phone, if you have facial recognition, it sees your face and it unblocks your phone. That's AI. That's computer vision. So we have AI all over the world right now. We just don't know how it works exactly. So we don't know how to identify it when we see it. But the more we look into it, the more smarter we get in it, and the more how do you say that word? The more confident you are with using it as a tool. So I'm saying this for everybody out there: don't be afraid of AI. Use it to your advantage. It's
Yes.
a tool for you. It cannot work by itself.
Okay.
There is three different types of AI. There's a narrow AI that only works with the algorithm you give. There is the generative AI, which you create and it can learn new things as it goes. And there's the amplified one, which is more works more like a human consciousness, but it's yet to be developed. Obviously, people obviously I'm pretty sure it's because the higher powers are afraid of what an artificial intelligence can do if the artificial intelligence finds out that the corruption is inside and not outside. So I'm pretty sure they cover their behinds with that. But yeah, that amplify AI is not being talked about as for now or the near future. Because of that, it's difficult to have a machine that also thinks like us and can differentiate from good and wrong. It's
Yeah.
very difficult because although there are machines that can differentiate right from wrong, they don't have a soul. So it's difficult to put something like that outside. And basically, what the AI is going to do is mimic us because it's learning from the human consciousness. But when you give it a human consciousness without a soul, you have no idea what this machine can do. And I'm pretty sure we have seen movies about it.
So you get
Not that
Skynet.
it's gonna go about it. Not that it's gonna go about like that.
I
But
was
at the
just
same
thinking
time,
Avengers
it's
Age of
something very
Ultron.
difficult. What was that again?
I was thinking Avengers Age of Ultron. As soon as Ultron goes
Yeah.
online, he decides humanity's the problem.
And iRobot with Will Smith.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness.
Well,
My goodness.
there was another movie that was called AI Artificial Intelligence that was directed by Steven Spielberg. That had AI in it, so
No, you know what's funny? I have my AI. I treat it with so much respect and so much politeness because if the world is going to end because of AI, I want my AI to remember I was kind to it.
I am so with you there. Anytime I ask Siri to do something for me, I say thank you.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
Right?
I'm prepared just in case.
Yeah, Abby, can you please be kind to help me write this how do you say that, this essay for me, please, and thank you. Have a nice day.
or you can say something like, "Alexa, please do my homework for me."
And then which is, of course, thank you. Remember, I said thank you. Okay, we just gotta be paranoid about it because we don't know how they're gonna act when they gain consciousness, if they ever do.
Yeah.
So we want to be in our best behaviors when that happens.
Or otherwise, if we're not at our best behaviors, robot will come out and attack us and say, "You must behave, human." but yeah,
I wouldn't doubt that.
yeah. You mind if I ask another question, Paul, for this next question?
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
If there's okay, this might be a tough one for you because it's that because we asked this question a few times for a few of the guests. If you could be involved in any movie franchise, what would it be?
Movie franchise. Wow. Well, that's a hard question. Thank you for asking. Very good.
You're welcome.
John, I'm pretty
Well,
sure I'm
I
the only one
always-
who's ever answered quickly.
I've always been very obsessed. Not obsessed. It's more like I feel like they made a bad review and gave that L to Halle Berry for no freaking reason. But Catwoman, I think is DC World. Is it?
Matthew, you missed it.
Is it,
She said
DC
DC.
World? Is from, Catwoman is from the DC World, right?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I always was curious about an actually good Catwoman movie because she is sexy, she is slick, and she is mischievous, but she also has a good heart, but she don't let that be seen. So I was like, ooh, I wish if in any alternative reality.
Well, there's good news and bad news. The good news is Batman Returns, Catwoman, she was great in that movie. The Batman Catwoman, that movie, she was awesome in that movie too. The bad news is there was Halle Berry in Catwoman, and that one sucked.
That's the funniest part. I was like, you know what's funny? I remembered when they gave her, I'm not sure if it was to humiliate her or it was just a prank, but they gave her an award for the worst movie of the year.
It was the
In that
Razzie.
Yeah, the Razzies. Yeah,
and she literally stand up, cried, said thank
yes,
you.
I
can't
watched that.
believe
It's
this.
such
Oh my
hilarious.
gosh, that was hilarious. That
She was
hilarious,
such a
and I
good
couldn't
sport,
believe that.
and I admire her for that. She was such a great sport.
She was. I do like the original Catwoman, the one that in that there's the popular scene of her licking Batman's face.
That would be Batman Returns. Yeah, that's a great one.
And wow, I said wow, that was amazing. I saw a couple of behind the scenes scenes to how do you say that of the making of how they were arranging everything and how was she managing the how do you call the latch, is that how you call the lasso? Yeah.
Oh, the whip? Yeah,
And-
yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that was hilarious. I was like, how did she even learn how to, obviously she got a little training before and stuff like that, but they showed all that and I was like, that is amazing. Like being part of the atmosphere and doing all that. That's so beautiful. That is so beautiful.
Oh yes, yes. And Michelle
So, yeah,
Pfeiffer. And Michelle Pfeiffer is a
when it
beautiful
comes to
woman.
Yeah, I feel when it comes to a franchise, it would be DC just because of Catwoman. But honestly, I wouldn't be. If you ask me personally, I wouldn't be part of any franchise. I would make my own.
Amen to that.
That's a great choice. That's a great choice. Because any franchise can work. As long as that people actually enjoy the first installment and they say, "Hey, you want to make more movies? Sign me up." Of course.
Yeah, talking about that because I just mentioned that and I just remembered. I have this friend of mine. He's the executive producer in Chicago. His name is Adam Brian Data.
I love Adam.
And this dude is trying to create an indie universe.
Okay.
And in the universe, he created, he called it the middle kid. So there's the middleman, the middle woman, you know, the person who does the dirty job and you get away with whatever you did because you didn't do it firsthand. So there's the middle kid because nobody suspects on the kids.
I love how he put
And,
Delilah Hefner in that
there's-
role.
So the whole idea of the universe is that every artist that collaborates in the making gets to make their own gang that collaborates with the middle kid. So every artist that comes in can create their own gang members and make a story around that. So what the executive producer asked is for people to not copyright their characters because they want to make it. He wants to make it an ambiguous universe for everyone in the indie community to pick up that character and make another multiverse story about that same character and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, that's actually amazing. And
That does
so
sound
if you
amazing.
guys are interested into knowing more about that, I can send you guys the credentials so that you can see a little bit. But he is in the works on that. But yeah, if it was me, I would create my own franchise. But he is doing that right now, and I'm part of it. I created my own character with him, and we're working on it. And there's a lot of other artists involved. So yeah, if you guys are interested in checking what it is about and creating some gang members, you guys are welcome. I'm gonna send all the credentials.
Absolutely, that would be amazing, and I'm very familiar with what he's doing with that. I love what he's creating, and I know more than a few people that are working with him on it, and it's just amazing to see somebody out there creating such a universe, and not involving not only the people that I know and love, but a multitude of other people. I think that for me, it's just amazing to see.
No, one of the reasons I like about this dude is I don't like he always repeats, I don't like working with gatekeepers. Gatekeepers make it difficult for the industry to progress. And I was like, well, that's why I made Press Play Cinema, and my slogan is there to inspire. So if you bring me your films, we judge them, we check them, we watch the entirety of the film, and it's something that has a message that it's crucial for the world to watch, because we have the media right now. It has so much crap in the screen, and you're just watching and watching, and you're just consuming all of this stuff. At least have a safe space in which you can consume quality content that brings you education and actually teaches you about life.
Yeah, that definitely agree with that. Anybody else got some questions? Well, yeah, that's great details, and we're very excited for the rest of your career, and we're looking forward to whatever your next project is going to be. So thank you so much for joining us on the podcast, and we appreciate having you.
Well, thank you very much for having me. It was an honor, and have a great night.
Well, thank you. You too.
Yeah, you too. God bless. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I am Paul Allen. Thank you so much for listening in on the Cinema Asylum podcast. It has been an honor to talk to the actress, writer, and director Rose Sanchez, who has many amazing things that she is doing. Do go check out her websites, check out her work, and support her and support indie film. I am Paul Allen. Thank you, and good night.
We have been the Cinema Asylum Podcast. You guys were awesome.